This video is the start of my quest to find the cheapest miniatures on the internet. Now, of course, we already know that the cheapest miniatures on the internet are either on eBay or they're going to be on a Kickstarter. So specifically, this series is not about waiting for an eBay auction or a Kickstarter project. This is about going to a website, ordering miniatures, and getting them for cheap. And today we're going to start our search at EM4 Miniatures. So I bought a bunch of stuff from their online store. Mostly a bunch of ABS plastic, dwarves, and goblins. They had kind of single weapon guys, and then they had spearmen. So I just kind of bought an assortment of what they had in stock. And the price on these guys individually was 21 pence. At least I think that's how it goes. It's 0.21 pounds, whatever. Anyways, I bought a bunch of stuff, and it only cost me £14.33 in total, including shipping. Most notably, I got a bunch of bases. The 20mm bases are a pain to find. I got a big old bag of shields, which is always handy to have if you're modifying miniatures. They come in 3 different varieties, kind of just a random assortment that you get in the bag. And the miniatures themselves, there's some points I want to talk about. Number 1, they have these little dots. I think this is the injection point of the miniature, maybe. So on all these little plastic miniatures, there's those kind of circles in the back. And the mold lines are really bad. However, since this is kind of like this very stiff ABS plastic, they're pretty easy to clean up, though. This is what they looked like once I cleaned them up and painted them. And again, this is a very quick paint job. I just did, just base layer, and I did some very quick washes and some, pretty amateur dry brushing. But as you can see, they look pretty good. On this one, I chose to use one of the shields just to cover up that little bump in the back. It's certainly less time and effort than it takes to shave it down. And let's do some size comparisons now. Kings of War, that's one of the miniature games where you can find cheap miniatures. Here's that dwarf compared to the other dwarf. As you can see, the Kings of War one is much more detailed, bigger. Here's the 2 orcs compared. As you can see, the modern Games Workshop stuff. The orcs are huge, as are the D&D orcs. These 2 orcs right here are from the D&D board game. And as you can see, they tower over kind of the old school EM4 orc. Here's the dwarf compared to the D&D dwarf from the board game. As you can see, it's actually pretty well in scale. And here's the painted dwarf compared to the pre-painted plastic gold dwarf. As you can see, the dwarves are much better in scale than the orcs are when considering D&D stuff, at least. And here's the orc compared to a plastic orc. Clearly bigger. And here we have a Reaper orc just towering above the EM4 orc. And there you are, folks. I think I got a very good value out of my purchase from EM4, but please tell me in the comments if you've ever used any of their products. As always, if you have any suggestions on future products I should take a look at, please let me know in the comments.
Have a great day, and as always, thank you for watching the video.
Boy, whose owlbear is this?